You know, I always get this question, how do I get all these vegetables in my body? In this video, I'm going to create a whole bunch of ideas on how to be creative in getting all the vegetables in your body and making them less boring. So number one is the kale shake. As you may already know, on my website, I'm really big on kale. Why? Because it has the most nutrition of any vegetable on the planet. It has, per cup, it's like 35,000 international units of vitamin A, a lot of potassium, and so if you just take kale and fruit, blend it, you can drink your vegetables. Okay, so that would be number one. Now number two, we can actually cut down the salad. Now what I have is a salad cutter, and what you can do is you can actually take the amount of greens that you have. Now, just so you know, I consume a lot of greens. You do not have to do all these greens in one sitting, but this is just what I do. So I have the salad cutter you can get at the store, and you basically just cut it down into very small little pieces so it makes it easier to break down and digest and eat. And then what I do is I add a whole bunch of stuff on it, and then I actually add some salad dressing. I like the Newman's Own ranch dressing because it's pretty good. There's no MSG, there's no extra sugar. It's very easy. I'll put the dressing on it, and I'm, boom, good to go. So cut down your salad, make it easier to consume. All right, number three, veggies with cheese. So you can have broccoli with melted cheese, cauliflower with melted cheese. There's a great restaurant in my area called The Melting Pot, and it's incredible. They make this melted cheese and you dip your vegetables, and that's a very easy and tasty way to get more greens or vegetables in your diet. Now, number four, steamed veggies. There's a great recipe that you would take spinach and you put it on a pan in the stove and you steam it, and it cooks down into a smaller amount. I like to add organic canned kidney beans, warm those up. Sometimes I put some tuna on it, and then you can put sea salt, pepper, and garlic, and it's incredible. So that's another thing that you can do to actually make it easy to consume your greens. Number five, we have cut tomatoes with basil. If you have some really good tasting tomatoes from the farmer's market or from the health food store that actually taste like tomatoes, and you cut those up and you add basil to it, fresh basil with ranch dressing, that makes a great kind of a salad, but it's different. You don't have the greens, but it's a great way to get your vegetables, but you're actually having tomatoes. So that's another favorite of mine. All right, number six, cut veggies with dip or hummus. So you have the traditional cucumber, carrot, celery, but you can have zucchini and even mushrooms if you want, and you just dip them. You could dip them into certain dips that don't have MSG or the ranch dressing, Newman's Own, or hummus. That's a really no-brainer way to get more vegetables without having to, like just eat them plain, so make them taste good. Now, number seven, zucchini with pasta. You could take zucchini, I have the recipe on my blog, shave it down as noodles, and you don't even have to cook it. Actually, you can have it raw and put some pasta sauce on it or pesto. It's really, really amazing. Some Parmesan cheese. I actually really enjoy this one as well. Number eight, spaghetti squash with pasta. If you've never had spaghetti squash, you can get it at any grocery store. You cut it in half, and you put it in the oven for about 40 minutes, you bake it, and it comes out as noodles. And it's great because you could add some pasta sauce, that could be your noodles, and instead of using the wheat pasta noodles, really delicious. It's another one of my favorites. Number nine, we have grilled zucchini. You basically just grill it, and before you grill it, you just put some olive oil on it, sea salt and pepper, and maybe some other spices. And it's quite delicious. This is another one of my favorite. It's another way to just make vegetables taste good. All right, number 10, veggies and omelets. Every time you make eggs in the morning, just stuff it with vegetables. You can put mushrooms and onions and tomatoes and whatever you like. That's another favorite. Okay, 11, baked kale. There's a baked kale chip recipe you can get pretty much anywhere on the internet. You just take your kale, you drizzle some olive oil and some sea salt, and you bake it under low heats, and it comes out. This is your alternative to your potato chip. Another great way to make your vegetables taste delicious. Number 12, green powders. This would be the barley greens or the wheatgrass juice powders. I have one called the wheatgrass juice powder that's really good because it's not just a wheatgrass powder, it's the wheatgrass juice powder. I mean, 1 teaspoon is equivalent to about 4.5 pounds of nutrients in vegetables. So since the purpose of vegetables is to give nutrients, this way you can have a very small amount, a little teaspoon, in a glass, mix it up and drink it up, and you get a lot of nutrition without having to eat 4 pounds of vegetables. So that's a really good idea, green powders. Of course, I want to mention my Kale Shake, my instant Kale Shake. This is another delicious way. What I've done is I've found different ways to make kale taste good by taking powdered kale, mixing with chocolate or fruit or caramel flavoring, and putting a protein called pea protein. And it's sweetened with erythritol and xylitol. And it's just a tad of stevia. And you just mix water or almond milk and blend it up or shake it up, and it's a great way to get your kale in a shake. So you won't even taste the kale in there, but it has a good amount of kale per serving. Okay, number 14, your favorite veggies. Now what does that mean? It means that out of all the veggies, what is your favorite? It's okay to consume large quantities of just one vegetable if you don't like vegetables. Like I had one guy, the only vegetable that he liked was peas. And basically that's all he did. He ate a lot of peas every single day. And he bought the frozen peas and slightly steamed them, and he consumed those. He put those in omelets and different things. So you can also do that as well. Number 15, I created a recipe that involved using cauliflower and mozzarella cheese for the crust on a pizza. You can also do that. That's another way to get your kids to consume cauliflower, and you won't even taste it. It's in the crust. It's quite delicious, very filling, so you don't need much, but you could make a vegetarian pizza. Number 16, you can have vegetable soup. I suggest make your own. Put a lot of vegetables in it. You can put kale and beans and all sorts of things. A bean soup, and that's another no-brainer to get some more vegetables. Because normally when you have warmed soup, it's very easy to consume that during the winter because it goes down nicely versus all the cold vegetables that you would eat. Now, number 17, and the last one, vegetable juice. Now, I'm not recommending the V8 because really that's pasteurized. And when you heat all these vegetables too much, you kill it. So as you notice, none of these involve overcooking the vegetables like you would get at the restaurant at the all-you-can-eat buffets. So this one is involving the juicing of the vegetables. So I don't recommend juicing, but if you have this with maybe just a little bit of carrot to add a little bit of sweetness, not too much because it could spike your sugar, it's good to get some nutrition. You can do it occasionally, but you want to take these green vegetables and you can juice them and at least get the nutrition from that. But ideally, it's better to blend your vegetables. So that's your summary of how to get more vegetables in your body and make them taste a little bit more interesting.